So just tell people a little bit about Silver Oak. I think you've been doing this for 40 years now, right?
Yeah, we started in 1972. We're a family-owned business. The winery was co-founded by my father and his winemaking partner. And since 2001, it's been just in the Duncan family. And so we have Silver Oak and also our sister brand, Toomey. And I've been selling, hopefully, great wine that people enjoy a lot for many, many, many years.
Well, and people lately have been calling it sort of the new Mondavi of Napa because you've been kind of a leader in the area. You've really brought the company forward as far as technology, as far as marketing is concerned. Tell us about some of the stuff you're doing.
Well, I'd be very flattered to be compared to Robert Mondavi. I'm not sure that's true as a real icon of the industry. But I think what Silver Oak has adopted and really believed in from the very beginning is about making wine to be enjoyable, to be food friendly, and so in the kind of the new era of acceptance and where people get their information about wine is because of social media and the internet has changed so much from the way it was even 15 or 20 years ago, where it was very wine writer directed. And so we've really adopted that, and I think for this next generation, they love that. They want their friends' opinions, they want the interaction. So both from an online perspective as well as just visiting our tasting rooms or coming to the Valley, Napa or Sonoma, we can really touch people and have that effect too.
I want to know how you're touching people with price points. Give me the different bottles and the different price points currently.
So we're at the ultra premium segment, but we're kind of at the what I would call the value end of the ultra premium segment. So our Alexander Valley Cabernet is $70.
Okay.
Our Napa Valley Cabernet is $110. Where
per bottle.
Per bottle. Yeah. So it's not inexpensive, but we like to think it's a great value. And our Toomey wines, Pinot Noir, about around $50 a bottle. Our Sauvignon Blanc is $25 a bottle, so that's your summer white. So that's kind of where we are in terms of price.
Give me an update on the harvest. You had the drought in California. I mean, you don't want it to rain now.
No.
So go ahead. Tell us what the harvest is.
Well, it's hot right now
yeah.
in Napa and Sonoma.
I think it's going to be 100 degrees in the Central Valley, at least.
It's 100 degrees right now, and so it's going fast and furious. It's definitely an early season. But I think with the application of technology and the things that we've been able to apply in the vineyards, we try and really mitigate what Mother Nature throws at us. 12, 13, 14.
So what are you doing, like drip irrigation? You have your own wells, or you have to get the water?
We have our own wells,
okay.
and while we are in a drought in California, we did get 30 inches of rain in December, so our reservoirs were full, the water tables were full. So in terms of growing grapes, it's been actually, a fairly normal year. We're a little light this year and definitely early in terms of the crop, but making a consistent wine is something that we've been applying ourselves to for 45 years, and this is another opportunity for us to do it.
How much growth is there in, I know that we drink collectively as a nation more wine than France, for example, but per capita, we're still underperforming the French as far as wine consumption.
It's not a contest, but go ahead.
By a lot, right? We only drink a quarter of the wine that they drink per capita.
That's exactly right. So we're, about 5 gallons per person. France is about 40 gallons per person per year. But as a nation, the U.S. became the #1 consumer of wine. And so I think there's a huge growth opportunity. I think more people are enjoying better wines, more people are interested in wines, and even with the whiskey boom and the cocktail boom and the things that are happening, the enjoyment of wine, I think, is just something that's becoming part of our culture.
How much of your wine from Napa, do you sell overseas as opposed to selling it here in the U.S.?
So that's a great question. We've actually grown in the last 5 or 6 years from about 4% to almost 10%. And so there's more interest in American wines overseas. Previously it was very much about
Where's the big market?
England is a big market.
Sure.
China is certainly a growth market and has potential.
Tell me about land prices right now per acre.
Ooh.
If you wanted to buy new acreage, you wanted to get into the business, you just had your IPO, you made a lot of money, you said, I want to go into the wine business. What can you expect to pay in Napa and Sonoma?
It feels like 2007 because I'm getting those phone calls from those guys.
I figured.
How do I get into the wine business? But it's really at peak
price?
Historically high prices right now. I think planted vineyard, if you're going to be looking at $400,000 to $600,000 an acre.
$400,000 to $600,000 an acre for planted.
Premium planted vineyard, if it was for sale.
Okay, if it was for sale.
So,
now, just tell me a little.
Cabernet.
For Cabernet.
Yeah.
Tell me the disposition of your vineyards right now in terms of the grapes that you're growing and where they're located.
So we own about half of the fruit that we use ourselves and grow that ourselves, and then about half of the fruit comes from growers. And we own properties in Napa and Sonoma, up in Anderson Valley, and are always looking for opportunities to, have that. Because once you have the land, you can make great wine year after year and really control the farming, and that's a very important part to us right now and something that we're really learning more and more about.
All right, so Pim and I are going to go after the program and buy a bottle of wine. What should we look for? What vintage?
Well, I think, the current vintage we have out right now, is, as I always say, is my favorite.
But that's the thing about California wine, right? I mean, it's designed to be consistent year in and year out, as opposed to, let's say, French or continental wine.
That's right. And because we're so blessed in California with the wine growing environment, we do get consistent vintages every year. So, right now, I think our 2010 Napa is where I would guide you. I think it's a real breakthrough wine for us, and, just delicious. We were sharing it last night with some friends, and I think you'd love it.
The truth is, we would buy whatever's there.
Yeah, probably. But I like that $400,000 to $600,000 an acre for planted vines, if you could buy it.
If you could buy it.
Well, the drought hasn't made California land any cheaper, has it?
No, it hasn't.
Not in wine country.
Not in wine country.